What does the most mysterious ranch in US history look like? UFOs and werewolves, strange sounds and portals between worlds. I'll tell you the incredible story of the Skinwalker Ranch, what kind of craziness goes on there, and why people try to stay away from this place. Get ready, it's going to be both creepy and fascinating, especially at the end. What is this place anyway? A regular ranch, but with a very unusual reputation. From the very first days that the land passed into the hands of new owners, the place was surrounded by an aura of mystery. Mysterious reports of UFOs and other anomalies started appearing long before this story hit the newspapers in 1996. But the true name, Skinwalker Ranch, came later, in the 1980s and 1990s, replacing the former name Sherman Ranch. Where did this nickname come from? The word Skinwalker comes from Native American legends about mystical shapeshifters capable of transforming into animals. These creatures, according to the lore, can possess human features, glowing red eyes and sharp teeth, always exuding an aura of malice and aggression. Locals spoke of strange creatures like an invulnerable wolf and a muscular hyena that attacked a horse, as well as a bear-like creature, even though bears had long been absent from the area. There were also rumors of skinwalker photos, which many considered fakes. But that didn't lessen the interest in these mystical stories. But how did it all start? In 1970, when the Sherman family purchased the ranch in Utah, they imagined they were beginning a new, idyllic life. They dreamed of a farm, children, and peaceful country living. But reality turned out to be much darker and more mysterious. Almost immediately after moving to the ranch, the Shermans encountered inexplicable phenomena. An invisible presence was constantly felt in their home. Voices and whispers emerged from nowhere, and then just as suddenly vanished, creating the sensation that someone was always nearby. But this was only the beginning. 5 months later, the paranormal activity intensified. The family saw blurry human figures that appeared and disappeared like ghosts. Objects in the house began moving on their own, and the family had terrifyingly vivid dreams that made their nights a real ordeal. The Shermans felt invisible forces pushing them as they passed certain spots in the house or on the property, which only added fear to their growing sense of despair. These events were just the tip of the iceberg in a series of mysterious occurrences that made the family question their decision to move to this ranch. The problems weren't limited to the house. They observed strange circles in the fields, formed by wheat pressed flat to the ground, which was unsettling enough on its own. But one day the Shermans saw something far beyond their expectations, an enormous spaceship, the size of 2 football fields, hovering above the ground. Initially, Terry Sherman thought that everything happening might be part of secret government experiments. However, when unknown wild animals began appearing on the ranch, this theory was dismissed. Local residents and neighbors witnessed creatures resembling skinwalkers, ancient shapeshifters from Native American legends, with red eyes and aggressive behavior. Wolves that were immune to bullets, a muscular hyena, and even bears, which should not have been in the area, were seen on the ranch. All of this was accompanied by the disappearance of livestock, which only reinforced grim suspicions of paranormal activity in the area. After enduring many horrors, the Sherman family realized that staying at the ranch was becoming too dangerous. They decided to sell it to Robert Bigelow, hoping to rid themselves of the curse of this land. But even after the sale, the mysterious events at Skinwalker Ranch didn't stop, remaining a topic of discussion and investigation. Robert Bigelow wasn't just any buyer. He was a billionaire known for his fascination with paranormal phenomena and the unexplained. He intentionally purchased Skinwalker Ranch to uncover its secrets. The place had long been famous for its anomalous events, and Bigelow hoped to dive into their study using advanced technology and scientific methods. His interest in the ranch was fueled by numerous stories of UFO sightings and paranormal activity reported by previous owners and local residents. After purchasing the ranch, Bigelow installed special equipment to capture any unusual activity. With this apparatus, he was able to document strange alien-like activities, which became crucial evidence supporting his theories about the existence of extraterrestrial intelligence. Additionally, both he and his team of researchers witnessed mysterious creatures, very similar to those described by locals and the Sherman family. These beings, resembling skinwalkers, appeared as if out of nowhere, their presence often accompanied by strange atmospheres and electromagnetic anomalies. Bigelow theorized that invisible portals existed on the ranch, through which these creatures moved between their world and ours. Several strange incidents supported this theory, such as the disappearance and unexplained reappearance of objects. For instance, once when Bigelow was digging a hole on the ranch, his shovel suddenly vanished, only to be found 2 weeks later hanging from a tree branch. How could something like that even happen? According to stories, any attempts to dig on this land lead to a series of strange and sometimes unsettling events. Tools disappear in a moment's distraction, only to be found later in the most incredible and hard-to-reach places. One of the ranch's previous owners shared a story about how, during preparations to dig a hole, his shovel disappeared without a trace when he turned away for just a moment. However, the most alarming incident involved one of the ranch workers who began digging holes to install a fence. Shortly after starting, he suddenly felt a sharp decline in health, severe weakness and fatigue. His condition rapidly worsened, and soon he was hospitalized. In the hospital, he was diagnosed with a brain tumor, which had previously shown no symptoms. The outcome of this story remains unknown, adding yet another mystery to the many unexplained events at the ranch. In 2004, despite significant findings and progress in research, Bigelow suddenly ceased all operations at the ranch and moved to another city. It wasn't until many years later, in 2016, that he managed to sell this infamous and mysterious place to Brandon Fugel, the head of a major real estate agency who was intrigued by the ranch's history and anomalies. He also tried to document all the strange occurrences at the ranch, but soon, his close family members began to fall ill. Constant headaches, vomiting, and dizziness. In the end, he too fled the ranch. By the way, many scientists also share the belief that there could be portals to other worlds on the ranch. This might explain the paranormal activity and strange animals, even though it sounds fantastical. Nevertheless, the collected evidence and eyewitness reports make you think. Many of these stories describe cases where objects, animals, and sometimes even people suddenly disappeared right before others' eyes or, conversely, appeared out of nowhere. These accounts are supported by various recordings and evidence gathered by both professional researchers and random witnesses. One such case describes a person watching their dog chase after a strange glowing object and then suddenly vanish without a trace. Another case involved mysterious lights in the sky merging into a single bright point and then disappearing, leaving only a faint light trail behind. Several reports described items left on the ground that simply disappeared the next day. Did neighbors take them? The area is fenced, and who would need a shovel or a bucket? And sometimes things would be found later, but in completely different places. So, what could this be? Aliens might also be involved. Mysterious UFO sightings around Skinwalker Ranch date back to the 1950s, fueling interest in this area as a hotspot for paranormal phenomena. One of the most notable incidents that drew the attention of the public and scientists occurred in 1978, when a massive flying saucer-shaped object raced through the night sky over the area. This object was spotted simultaneously by numerous witnesses in different parts of the region, adding credibility to their accounts. Witnesses described it as silver, surrounded by a greenish glow. Particularly notable was the dome on top, resembling a rounded knob on a pot lid, which added to the object's strange appearance and technological mystery. The most intriguing detail was the complete lack of sound as the object moved, despite its impressive size. This feature is often reported in UFO sightings and is one of the characteristics that make such observations convincing and difficult to explain with modern science. What other strange things have scientists documented? One of the most mysterious and discussed phenomena at Skinwalker Ranch is the occurrence of voices coming from nowhere. Many visitors and residents of the ranch have encountered this bizarre phenomenon, where voices suddenly fill the space for a brief moment and just as quickly vanish. According to witnesses, these voices sometimes sound like whispers right in someone's ear, creating the illusion of an invisible conversation partner. Another accompanying phenomenon that heightens the eerie atmosphere of the ranch is the sensation of being touched by invisible entities. Visitors and residents have described moments when they felt as though something or someone was pushing them, as if an unseen hand or foot was trying to grab their attention or signal its presence. In addition, there have been reports of semi-transparent human figures appearing on the ranch, resembling ghostly silhouettes. Sometimes, these figures are accompanied by small, floating orbs of light, known as orbs. These glowing objects are often associated with paranormal activity and can appear in various parts of the ranch, adding even more to the chilling atmosphere. Honestly, I would have run away from there too, no lie. But what's happening on the ranch now? With the arrival of Brandon Fugel, the new owner of Skinwalker Ranch, this plot of land has become a highly restricted zone, accessible only to a select group of researchers. Fugel and his team continue investigating the paranormal phenomena that were recorded by the previous owners of the ranch. He describes his observations and convictions quite firmly. He doesn't just believe in the anomalies at the ranch, he has seen and documented them. Interestingly, it's not just about sightings of extraterrestrial or paranormal presences. Many researchers mention something called the hitchhiker phenomenon, which suggests that the energy of the place has a lingering effect on visitors even after they leave the ranch. An example of this is the case of Dr. Travis Taylor, who encountered unexplained technical malfunctions in his car far from the ranch, coinciding with anomalies happening at the ranch at the same time. While there is no concrete evidence to support these hypotheses and theories as of now, the ongoing research and observations by Fugel and his team continue to attract the attention of both the scientific and the curious communities. This emphasizes the uniqueness and ambiguity of Skinwalker Ranch as a place with strong and unusual energy, leaving a lasting impression on all who encounter it. But there are also conspiracy theories. One of the most popular versions suggests that the ranch is a site for secret government experiments. This idea doesn't seem so far-fetched when you look into the details. First, the ranch is in a remote and inaccessible area, which creates ideal conditions for secret testing, minimizing the risk of accidental witnesses. Second, the constant change of owners and their mysterious stories fuel theories that the government may have used each new administration of the ranch for various purposes, including testing cutting-edge technologies or studying extraordinary phenomena. Furthermore, many of the technologies described by witnesses could be part of military developments. There is also speculation that the government might be interested in studying paranormal phenomena in the context of psychological warfare or developing a new type of weaponry. The presence of phenomena on the ranch resembling poltergeists or other paranormal activity could possibly be linked to the use of high-tech devices capable of influencing the environment and human perception. Ultimately, while there is no direct evidence to support this theory, the abundance of unexplained events and the peculiarities of Skinwalker Ranch continue to draw both researchers and curious onlookers, each seeking answers to the mysteries hidden within its eerie boundaries. Could Skinwalker Ranch just be a fabrication, an elaborate joke, or a myth created for entertainment? This theory is just as fascinating as any paranormal ideas associated with the place. Perhaps the stories about Skinwalker Ranch are nothing more than a well-planned marketing strategy aimed at attracting tourists or supernatural enthusiasts, or maybe it's a social experiment designed to study the public's reaction to information about paranormal phenomena. Think about it. First, despite the many tales of strange occurrences, there still isn't a single reliable piece of evidence to prove paranormal activity at the ranch. Yes, so much research, but not one convincing video. All the so-called evidence could easily be fabricated or interpreted in different ways. Secondly, Skinwalker Ranch has a certain reputation that could be used as a tool to gain media attention and attract scientists, as well as stimulate the local economy through tourism. Nonsense? That's what I think too. After all, the former owners didn't try to monetize the ranch, they just tried to get away from it. Even a billionaire didn't develop the story, but simply got rid of the land. How can a joke explain that? I can't say for sure what's really happening at the ranch, which stories are true and which are exaggerated, but where there's smoke, there's fire. What do you think? Would you dare to live on this ranch? Be sure to comment. I'd love to read your thoughts. And yes, if you enjoy interesting stories, know how to write scripts, edit, or do voiceovers for videos, check out the Telegram bot via the link in the description. I'd be happy to collaborate. Thanks for watching.